How we doing today, guys? It's Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. And here we go. This is right in our very own backyard here in Texas, which is why one of the reasons why I wanted to concentrate this. I'm a big fan of our Attorney General Ken Paxton. I'm really proud of all the stuff he's done and a lot of the pushback he's gone through, using a lot of the legal maneuvers he has, even without direction. Well, specific necessarily direction from either the governor or the legislature. He is using the laws on the books we have to help us fight in the culture war. And that is something that is very important, because it's not just about who we elect and who gets voted for and the integrity of our elections and all of that kind of stuff. This is also about what's going on inside of our schools, who's running those schools, who's in charge of those schools, who's in part of the administration, and who's at the end of the day just trying to indoctrinate our kids into their own crazy worldview. So, let's get into this article. But before we do, if you have not already, please hit that like button and share this with your friends. And if you are not already, hit that subscribe button. And let's go ahead and get into this article. So, Texas AG blasts possible LGBTQ indoctrination at school districts' Pride Week, Queer Eye showings, nail painting, parties allegedly offered at high school. Damn. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton blasted Pride Week activities at the Austin Independent School District in a letter posted to Twitter, saying that they constitute human sexuality instruction, allowable only with parents' consent. He also accused the district of participating in LGBTQ indoctrination, saying that's one of the things. You have to be very specific in Texas about how you teach sex stuff because of the way our laws are. So in knowing Ken Paxton, he has crossed all of his I's and dotted all of his T's. Because you know he will check all of this stuff and make sure he is right before he pulls any trigger or says anything. Allegedly, among the Pride Week activities are a Queer Eye showings and nail painting parties at a district high school. Here are the details. Liberal school districts are aggressively pushing LGBTQ on views on Texas kids, all behind parents' back. This is immoral and illegal, Paxton added in a follow-up tweet. I will work with and for parents to hold deceptive sexual propagandists and predators accountable. Paxton's Tuesday letter noted that the district's activities happening this week are at best an instructional effort in human sexuality without parental consent, or worse, the district is cynically pushing indoctrination of your students that subtly cuts parents out of the loop. Either way, you're breaking the law. That's our Attorney General. Can you see why I like him? The Attorney General added that he heard reports about community circles in which sensitive topics are discussed and that students are encouraged to keep them confidential, presumably from parents. But Austin school officials pushed back, saying in a statement to the Austin American-Statesman that community circles are confidential in the sense that they make students feel trusted and respected for their privacy when sharing in the conversations. It does not mean don't tell your parents. Sure it doesn't. Interestingly, a Libs of TikTok tweet said DOS elementary instructions after parents and social media backlash were updated to reflect that teachers are to inform students that they can tell parents about Pride Week activities. Why? Was it implied before that they couldn't? Why would you have to make sure you told them that? Is it because something implied that they couldn't? So yeah, Libs of TikTok is showing the before and after. If you are not on Twitter, I would recommend signing up for an account just to follow Libs of TikTok. It's very entertaining, and they have some very breaking news. These guys are good at what they do. Just because their name is Libs of TikTok does not mean they're not a good source for news, and they are good at finding this stuff. Indeed, the American-Statesman reported that the backlash to this year's Pride Week resulted in death threats against DOS elementary teachers and prompted the school to move Wednesday's Pride Parade indoors with police present. District spokesman Jason Stanford added to the paper that we were actually worried about this political controversy could possibly threaten the safety of these kids. Well, then maybe don't put them in the middle of a pride parade, because God knows they don't know any better. They're just going along to get along, so their teachers will leave them alone and they can get out of school and go hang out with their friends. You frickin' weirdos. Libs of TikTok also posted video to Twitter showing that what it said was an indoor pride parade at DOS Elementary. I knew she would delete it, so I saved it. The assistant principal posted this video of a pride parade in her in school to her Twitter account, clearly showing younger than high school students. In addition, it was claimed that activities such as queer eye showings and nail painting parties were scheduled at James Bowie High School. And there's the entire, there you go. There, Monday, wow, it's got wow, that's several days. The Austin ISD on Thursday did not immediately respond to the Blaze's request for comment on claims that Doss Elementary's Pride Week instructions were amended to make sure students are told they can talk to their parents and that queer eye showings and nail painting parties were scheduled at James Bowie High School. Elementary, people. Elementary school. Okay? This isn't just a Florida problem that DeSantis is fixing. This is a Texas problem. This is an everywhere problem. Texas is supposed to be leading this country in freedom and liberty and conservative values. Right now, we're being outflanked and outshone off by Governor DeSantis in Florida. How does that make you feel as a Texan? Does that really bring you pride to know that this kind of stuff is going on when we could have easily passed things to prevent this 2 years when we were in session last year? Like, really? Really? Doesn't feel like Texas anymore. Political attacks. In response to Paxton letter, Austin ISD Superintendent Stephanie S. Elwizidi tweeted the following: "I want all our LGBTQIA plus students to know that we are proud of them and that we will protect them against political attacks." Yeah, you're what, 0.00001% of them that are actually this way and not just confused or indoctrinated by the bullshit that you've obviously been pushing on them since elementary school? Okay. In addition, the American Statesman reported that Stanford said Paxton is wrong legally and factually to equate Pride Week with sex education. What the hell else would you equate it with? The only thing that differentiates homosexual people from heterosexual people is who they sleep with. It is inherently part of the conversation when you discuss anyone of that persuasion. Can't separate the two, girls and boys, because that's literally the only difference between heterosexual and homosexual people is who they have sex with. Literally. Pride is about celebrating who people are, particularly members of the LGBT community, who are bullied much more than the community at large, who experience suicide at much higher rates, who skip school at twice the rate of straight kids because of worries about their safety, Stanford told the paper. I'm not even going to get into the suicide rate thing because that'll probably get me banned off YouTube. In Austin, it's really important to us to let all these kids know that we love them and they're welcoming and they're safe, he added to the American Statesman. It might surprise the Attorney General to find out that this is a pretty normal idea here in Austin, that we love everybody. Trust me, it ain't surprising anybody that these kind of ideas are normally in Austin. You're the bastard stepchild of the rest of Texas. We know where most of our horrible ideas come from, and you permeate places like Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston, and San Antonio, and now you're even trying to stretch everywhere else. Well, guess what? It's not working because people are waking up. And if we have to, maybe we should just build a wall around Austin. Just a thought. And while Paxton's letter advised the Austin ISD to rectify this situation and warned that parents could take action against the school district, the paper said Stanford brushed aside the Attorney General's cautions. "There is nothing our lawyers are taking seriously at all because he's so wrong about the law," Stanford told the American Statesman. "We thank the Attorney General for his interest, but we will continue to celebrate Pride." This is why this kind of stuff, this kind of indoctrination of our children cannot be allowed in our schools. This is exactly why we have to call upon our legislatures when they go back into session come January of next year to pass a law very similar, if not more expansive than Florida's. I don't think pre-K through third is high enough. I think we need to go all the way up to maybe even right into the high school years. I can understand some basic knowledge and some basic anatomy when it comes time that average child is going to start having those kind of things happen to them and their body is going to start changing. That is something we need to understand as adults, and that's something as parents we need to be taking care of ourselves so school people don't feel the need to step in and do it for us. This is a failure on the parents as a whole, and I include myself in that. I have not always been as active in my school district as I should be, and that is something that I am working to rectify and supporting groups that are also very active in my school board. All right? This is our fault. We have no one to blame but ourselves. But not all hope is lost. We can still fix this. Okay? We need to pass a bill just like Florida did that is more expansive, if anything, in Texas, and get this kind of stuff nipped in the bud so they will stop indoctrinating our children, because that is exactly what this goal is. These people are groomers, and they are trying to indoctrinate your children into their perverted way of life. We have to stop this and stand up as parents now. But hey, that's just my common sense take. This is Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. Thanks for watching.